Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing my top 5 must-read manhwa. These are, in my opinion, some of the best manhwa currently being made. That said, I had a really hard time condensing it down into this list, and I also excluded major titles like The Beginning After the End and Solo Leveling, so do keep that in mind. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in to the list. Coming in at number 5, we have The Game I Came From. The best way to describe this manhwa is to call it the most generic, collective, all-encompassing manhwa that I have ever read. I mean, it takes bits and pieces from a million genres and integrates them together in a way that makes it feel uniquely generic. It basically takes a guy who lives in a world dominated by VR where these people known as Awakened have unlocked their in-game powers in the real world and kind of occupy the upper classes of society. RMC is obviously not one of these individuals, at least at the start, and just as he's realizing how much he hates his life, bam, my man literally steps through a portal that takes him back a few years into the past. With this new opportunity, he vows that in this life, he will do things the way he wanted to in his previous attempt, like start his own guild, make it onto the leaderboard, and become Awakened. This is probably the best synopsis I can give based on what I picked up when reading it. That said, I know I called it generic, however, it's one of those ones that does all the cliches fairly well and combines them well, which is probably why it's as enjoyable as it is. With around 79 chapters so far, this is my number 5 recommendation, The Game I Came From. In 4th place today, I decided to put Leveling with the Gods. This is a really fun one to read. The main character is a badass, he's cold, calculated, and he always gets straight down to business. The story basically begins with a bunch of gods, demigods, and heroes from varying mythologies who have joined forces to climb a tower and battle what they call the Outer Gods at the top. However, things didn't go the way they had hoped, and now they've retreated and are biding their time before they are caught and destroyed by these so-called Outer Gods. With no other alternatives, Kronos, the being who rules over time, sacrifices his soul to send the MC back in time so that he can once again climb the tower, correct the mistakes of the past, and better prepare the party for a rematch against the Outer Gods. I really recommend this one. It has some of the most incredible fight scenes I've seen in a while. The writing's really good, the story's good, and yeah, with 47 chapters so far, that's my summary of Leveling with the Gods. Sitting firmly in 3rd place, let me tell you about Regressors Instruction Manual. This story has a lot of potential to become a killer manhwa. It's got a nice game system, a good plot, a regression element, but this time it wasn't the MC who regressed. The MC is actually one with really bad stats, at the start at least, but the big thing in this one is he's cunning, and it shows how he manipulates the situation and situates himself amongst strong friends and allies. For a brief summary of the story, this guy, the MC, is eating and he receives a text message on his phone asking him if he wants to play a game. Of course, he just accepts this strange text message from an anonymous messenger, I presume, as one does, and he's transported to another world with a game system, only to find out his abilities suck. And even the system gives him a prompt telling him how much he should just give up because he sucks. However, he's a smart dude and he quickly allies himself with some pretty powerful people with a lot of potential, and many of the plot points from here on out basically are him trying to manipulate people and situations to his advantage, and it's done very well, and it's an extremely entertaining read. So, with 39 chapters so far, this one's called Regressors Instruction Manual. In 2nd place, we have Reincarnation of a Suicidal Battle God. Now, this one is super good. If you guys haven't started reading this one, I'd highly recommend it. In fact, I almost placed this one in 1st, but I just don't think it's there right now. However, the story is really picking up, so it may be there soon. So check it out. This one begins with a battle between the last human and the demon god. All the rest of humanity has been wiped out save for the MC, but even now he fails to defeat the demon god. He does wound him, and apparently this enrages the demon god and entertains the other gods enough that they reincarnate him 20 years into the past and give him a second chance to grow stronger and have an eventual rematch. Already having become the ultimate human warrior in his previous life, this time he's going to go beyond that barrier, and this brings him not only an opportunity to defeat the Demon Lord, but also to save the ones he loved and cared about that he lost along the way. So that's the summary of this one, with 42 chapters so far. This is Reincarnation of a Suicidal Battle God. And in first place, we have Solo Max Level Newbie. Now, I absolutely can't get enough of this manhwa. It has amazing characters, a cool plot and world, and it's just really fun to read. Basically, it's another game system manhwa, but it starts off with a streamer who finally beats this old dying game that everybody else quit because they said it was unbeatable and too hard. However, he stuck it through, he climbed all 100 levels of the tower in the game, and defeated the final boss. That same day, the tower from the game appears in the real world, and everybody receives a message that if they cannot clear it, humanity will be destroyed. RMC sets out to clear the tower in the real world using his previous knowledge of the game. Along the way, he forms interesting relationships, has a bunch of badass encounters, and accumulates fame and fortune along the way, though maybe the fame's infamy more so, I don't know. That's basically my summary for the overall plot for this one. Now, I didn't do it justice, if I'm being honest, but the whole reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to talk about this manhwa in particular. I love the characters, especially the MC, and how he's generally a good guy, but he's always looking out for himself first. He's not some overly virtuous saint, you know? And the other characters are also great. There's this vampire chick who, without spoiling too much, is my favorite female character for various reasons. Also, the story only keeps getting better the more and more I read. The art is incredible. Guys, if you are not checking out this one, then please consider it. With 42 chapters so far, this is Solo Max Level Newbie. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first video here on YouTube. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more manhwa, anime, and weeb content soon to come. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!